languages scientifically. This meaning is quite important for us, and we have also seen that what do we mean by to study something scientifically. We also try to define linguistics, and we can define it in two words as language science or science of language, or we can also have a one sentence definition, that is linguistics is a scientific study of language. We have also seen what we generally study in linguistics, and the topics and the disciplines, they fall under three chief headings, starting from language form. And under language form, we have phonetics and phonology, morphology, and syntax. And under language meaning, we have semantics, and under language in context, we have pragmatics. We have also seen the definitions of these disciplines, and we have understood that what type of study generally we undertake under these disciplines. And we discussed in detail that what do we mean by to study something scientifically, and we know that scientifically is also related to something that is systematically and without any prejudice. We have seen that what is the difference between subjectivity and objectivity, and how objectivity is related to linguistics. Then we have also seen that how we observe language data, and how that language data uh, help us in forming a hypothesis, and how we can test our hypothesis with more data, and we can modify it, refine it according to the data. And this entire process is known as testing the hypothesis, and in this way we can reach to an objective result. So this is we have seen, and we have seen that how this word scientific is very much crucial, very much important when we undertake a linguistic study. We have seen that human brain is a sophisticated translating machine, and when we use this metaphor, translating machine, then we know that uh, we speak in sound waves, and those sound waves, they are recognized as speech sounds, and those speech sounds are translated into words, phrases, or sentences, and those words, phrases, and sentences, they are understood as some meaningful thoughts and ideas. So this entire process, starting from sound waves and reaching to meaningful thoughts and ideas, this is done by our brain. And that's why we say that human mind is a sophisticated translating machine. Now, this view, what is language, and we will look at what is language from Saussurean point of view. And Ferdinand de Saussure, a Swiss linguist, he is known as the father of modern linguistics. And what Ferdinand de Saussure says that language is a psychological property of human beings. Now, this word psychological is crucial here, because psychological is something that is related to our mind, and language is situated. Language is found in our mind. So that's why we can say that language is a psychological property of human beings. Now, this is also a definition by Ferdinand de Saussure, and you can also learn this definition by heart, because the theory of Saussure and what Saussure said, it provides a fine philosophy of language science. At the same time, when we study language in terms of a psychological property of human beings, then these three things, these three statements are quite crucial. And when you study and when you look at these three statements, then you will find that these three statements are, in fact, an essence of Saussurean work. Now, what is this statement? We will look at them one by one. First is language is a system of systems Second is language is a system of differences. And third is the relationship between signifier and signified is arbitrary. Now we have already seen when we were discussing that linguistics is a scientific study of language, and we have seen that when we deal with this word scientific, then it is also a systematic study. So language is a system. Now, what do you understand by a system? Uh, a system is an organization, something that is organized, something that is formed. Now, if you look at language, then you will find that there is not only one system, but there are so many systems, and all those systems, they are interlinked with each other. So you have a system of sound. So that system of sound is it falls under phonetics and phonology. Then you have system of words, and that falls under morphology. Then you have system of uh, sentence structure, that falls under syntax. So you do not have only one system. As a language, you have one system, but inside it you have so many systems, and those systems are interlinked, interrelated to each other. So because of that, we say language is a system of systems. I'll give you one example. For take this word dog. Now this dog is, when I say dog, and if I ask like what do you understand by this, then you will say dog is a four-legged canine animal. So that is the dictionary definition that you will find. A dog is a four-legged canine animal, a domestic canine animal, you can say. But if I ask more, that you can tell me about more, then you will say there are different types of dogs. Pomeranian is one type, Bulldog is another type, Alsatian is another type. So again, you will tell me different types of dogs. Now this is one thing, but if I ask like how this word is formed, so you will say there are three letters. I will ask which letters. You will say letter D, letter O, and letter G. You will say these three letters are responsible for the spelling of dog. If I say, can you make any other word with these three letters? Then you will say probably that, okay, we can also make God. If we change these letters, then G, O, D, and if I say any other word you can make out of these three letters, you will say no. If we need to use all three letters at a time, then either you can make dog or you can make God. There is no other combination possible for an English word. So how is it possible? How only two words are possible out of these three letters? Then you will say that this is a system. It is a system, and English works like this. In English, we can only make two words out of these three letters if we only have these three letters. So again, you have this system. That system allows you to only have two words out of these three letters, and you cannot make more words. And if you want to make more words, then either you will change them or you replace them with some other letters. So this is the concept of system that you need to understand, first thing. But if I ask um, like these three letters, and uh, what do they represent, or which sound they represent? So you will say letter D represents the D sound. Then you will say letter O here represent O sound. Fine. And letter G here represent G. So D, O, G. So these three sounds, when these three sounds they come together in this manner, like the or g, then they will become the word will become dog. And if we rearrange like g or d, then it will become God. So this is, language is a system of system. So you have three sounds, you put them in a specific order, then it will become dog. If you change the order, it will become God. So this is the meaning that language is a system of systems. You have sounds, you collect those sounds, you put them together, and you have a word. So similarly, if you change these sounds, for example, if I change the sound the, uh, I change the sound letter D, and I change with the let's say letter F, then you will say it will become fog. Then only fog is possible, particularly with these three letters. Now this change, like, because gof, gof is no word here. So again, like this type of thing, when you substitute a sound with other sounds, or when you change them, when you combine them, you make new words. So this entire thing is, language is a system of systems. So you have sounds, you have words, then you have syllables, you have morphemes. All these things we will study further, but this is basically the meaning that why we say that language is a system of systems. Now similarly, we have another: language is a system of differences. Now what does it mean, language is a system of differences? Language is a system of differences. Let's say dog, dog, and if I change this letter D with letter F, then do they mean same? No, they do not mean same. They are different. Fog is something different and dog is something different. That means each sound and their placement is responsible for a specific meaning. That's why language is a system of differences. Another example, if I give you, for example, bank. If I say bank, and if I say I'm going to the bank, and if I say this thing in the afternoon, then it is generally understood that bank here is a financial institution I am talking about. But suppose there is some river, like in Jammu there is Tavi river, and let's say 9 o'clock you are saying that I am going to the bank, then the meaning is you are going to the river bank, because it is understood that bank functions during office hours, and office hour starts from 10 to 5. Now the same word has different meaning. How the same word has different meaning? Because it depends upon the context. In which context I said what. I say the same sentence but in two different times. First in the afternoon and second in the night, and accordingly there is a difference. So language is a system of differences. So these minute details, like you replace one sound with another sound, one letter with another letter, and then there is a difference. So language is a system of differences. Because of differences, language functions. So this is how you can understand this concept, that how language is a system of differences. The final thing, the relationship between signifier and signified is arbitrary. What is arbitrary? Arbitrary is something that is not direct. There is no one-to-one relationship. For example, someone's name is Rahul. Then you can cross question, like why your name is Rahul, why your name is not Ramesh. So again, there is no one-to-one relationship that if a person looks like this, then the person's names will be Rahul. If the person looks like this, then the person's names will be Ramesh. So you can't say that why your name is this. You will simply answer that my parents have given me this name, so this is now my name. In my 10th mark sheet I have this name, so now I need to carry this name throughout my life. So that means there is no relationship between your name and you, what you are and what your name is. So it is always better when someone raises a question, tell me about yourself, then don't say I am, but you will say my name is, because your name is Rahul, your name is Ramesh, but you are not Rahul or you are not Ramesh. So this is like this expression I am, because you can be many more. Your personality is multifaceted, but it is not limited to only your name. So it is always better to to give your introduction with my name is Rahul, my name is Ramesh, my name is Lata, but not like I am, because I am many more, I am much more, but my personality has many facets, but it is not limited to my name only. So this is a bit philosophical, but still, incidentally, you need to remember this thing, and also don't use this incorrect use myself, because don't start with myself, because English, no, not a single sentence starts with myself. So myself is incorrect use. If you use this, myself that shows that you do not know English language. So always start your introduction with my name is, avoid I am, and never use myself. Now let's come to the relationship between signifier and signified is arbitrary. So that means there is no one-to-one relationship. For example, why dog is called dog? Why dog is not called bow bow? Because dog makes that sound bow bow, but no one calls a dog a bow bow. So this is like, if a dog is called bow wow, then there is a relationship between one-to-one relationship between signifier and signified. Signified is the concept. So you can consider signified as a dog, actual dog, and signifier is, let's say, dog sound dog, even if you write it or you say it. But so there is no relationship. Why dog is called dog? Why dog is not called bow bow? If dog is called bow bow, then you can say, okay, there is a relationship between signifier and signified. But there are only few words where there is a direct relationship between signifier and signified. And those type of words are known as onomatopoeic word. That means we copy those sounds from the nature. For example, tick tock. When I say tick tock, I'm not talking about that application. I'm talking about the tick tock of a clock. So that means like you have copied that sound, ding dong of a bell. So when you have copied those sounds, but those sounds are very few, not many. Only a couple of like 100 words you will find which are onomatopoeic words, where you copy the sounds from the nature. But here, in most of the cases, in all the languages, the relationship between signifier and signified is arbitrary. There is no one-to-one relationship. This is the meaning of this third statement. The relationship between signifier and signified is arbitrary. Now, these three uh, statements are quite important, not only because they deal with the philosophy of linguistics, but Saussure, uh, they also highlight the essence of Saussurean works. So you need to understand them with proper examples, and you need to know who has said what. So here in this case, language is a system of systems, language is a system of differences. The relationship between signifier and signified is arbitrary. These statements are made by Ferdinand Saussure. Now, one more thing that is important by Saussure, and Saussure says that everything depends upon relations. Now, here Saussure is talking about not human relation, but that that statement is also applicable to human relationship. Like we live in a family and we know how important our family is for us. So everything depends upon relations. So that way it is also true, but here Saussure is talking about sign, the concept of sign. Now, what is a sign? Now you can understand sign as a word. Any word is sign. Like dog is one sign. Let's say cat is another sign. Anything in this world is one sign. If it is in the word form, you can now understand that thing, like almirah, laptop, mobile phone. These are one signs that you have. So you can say like there are thousands of signs we find in a dictionary, right? Now when we try to understand the concept of sign, then Saussure says that you can understand sign as a piece of paper. Now, piece of paper is a metaphor here. All of you have seen a piece of paper. Now, what is so special about a piece of paper? A piece of paper has two sides. So if you want to define a piece of paper, you will say a piece of paper must have two sides. So here, what Saussure says that a sign is like a piece of paper, and a sign must have a signifier and a signified. For example, when I say dog, then you know dog has some meaning. So that means my saying dog, this sound D-O-G, dog, that is associated with some concept. When I say bird, then how many of you are thinking about penguin? You will say no one is thinking about penguin, but penguin is also a bird. How many of you thinking about ostrich? You are not thinking about ostrich. Then probably you are thinking about a parrot, you are thinking about a crow, you are thinking about a sparrow, you are thinking about the bird that you see around you. So that is also the concept, because bird means thousands of birds, insects means thousands of insects. But when I say insect, there is a possibility that you think about mosquito. Fine. So this thing is important, that there is a word, and when it is written or when it is said, it is known as signifier. And the concept that is associated with that particular word, either written or oral, that is your signified, and signified is your is the concept. So anything. So the sign has these two things inherently. A sign is not a sign if one thing is missing. Both the things are essential if sign is to be qualified, a signifier and a signified thing. Now, but there are certain words where there is no concept. For example, I say the. When I say the, what comes into your mind? There is no concept associated with the word the. When I say of, what concept comes into your mind? No concept comes into your mind. So these type of words are functional words. So these type of words are functional words, but functional words are also very important uh, in when we construct a sentence. For example, when I say the cat is on the mat, and when I say a cat is on the mat, so you understand what is the difference between the cat and the difference between a cat. The cat means I am talking about one specific definite cat. And when I say a cat, then any cat. I am talking about any cat. A cat is on the mat. So here, like how this thing happens, like the is interacting with cat, a is also interacting with cat. So one sign interacts with other sign. And that's why the entire construction, the cat is on the mat, becomes meaningful. And that is the meaning of what Saussure says, that everything depends upon relations. So I stop here. Uh, and if you have any doubt associated to what I have discussed, you can raise that doubt.